Welcome back. This is Trigger Mastery Part 2. I'll probably stop at Part 2. I could talk about trigger forever, and people don't spend enough time getting intimate with their trigger, and that's why it's so difficult for some people to be accurate, so difficult for some people to send splits below 0.20 or something like that. If you get intimate with your trigger, you will understand that it will be your path to accuracy. That will be your path to like very sexy splits, right? 16s, 14s, 12s, something like that. If you get intimate with your trigger is really the only way. So we talked about on Trigger Mastery Part 1, I guess, how to figure out the multiple stages of your trigger, which is the ticket to understanding and getting intimate with your trigger. So here's how you start connecting that to Dryfire exercises. So you pick a target. I have a target right underneath the camera here, and I am going to go from maybe a low ready or a compressed ready, and I'm going to push out to where I want to present my gun with definitely some energy. I want to move as quickly as possible. I want to induce issues in my trigger finger because my goal is to separate the speed of my hands and the speed of my presentation from my trigger work. If it's a little bit farther, maybe 10 yards, 15 yards, maybe instead of a full slap from the outside, maybe you touch first, then slap all the way through. It depends on your level of in your development and the strength of your grip, right? But I will say this, if you're pulling up to a 6-inch 25-yard plate or something like that, or you're pulling up to a 1-inch square at 5 yards, or some kind of headshot, or just kind of a difficult small target shot, you're not going to want to pull all the way through. Not from the outside, not from the very stage one either, not from out here, not even from like touching the trigger and then pulling all the way through, because you can absolutely, as a human, right, because you're not a robot, can induce some movement of the gun, and if the target is small enough or far enough or both, you will have problems. You will not get what you want. And then also, we talked about like the distance of the trigger on multiple shots. But for now, because we can't really do distance of trigger on multiple shots, which we do in my live fire classes, let's work the presentation to the final wall. Presentation, really aggressive presentation to the final wall. And this is how you work it.